All right, this is Clay Nelson Life Balance Hour on KZSB AM 1290, and we're talking about dealing with change. I had Mario on the phone before the break, and Mario, you said that you're dealing with how, as many companies are nowadays, they're being purchased or downsized or upgraded or merged or whatever. And the management company or the group that ends up being in control is a different group that once started the business, and now you got to deal with it, right?
That's right. That's right.
And so your question is, though, is what? Is how do you deal with it, or how do you train them that the way you're doing is the way it ought to be done?
It would be nice if that second word were able to be true, but sometimes they seem to think, no, we know better.
Yeah. Okay, so the truth is, when you get into the land of corporate, money talks. So you got to pretty much do who's, quite frankly, signing the check. All right, but you can, after a period of time, create what I call a listening. And what that means is look, I've been doing this for 20 years. I've been, doing it a certain way. I'm up on the technology. I really understand what the market is, and here's what I think ought to be done. But you have to wait for them to hear what you say. So you have to slowly keep saying it over and over and over again until it lands someplace where a difference can be made. Can you hear that?
I can hear that.
Yeah.
I hear that.
So, and it's like you can change a little bit, but who you are in the game can't change. Your passion for doing it, your aliveness in it, your plan for getting it done, your commitment to get it done, all has to stay up there. And I don't care who owns the company. They're going to get that the business works out of your passion, aliveness, and commitment. And when they see that start to wane, they can say, well, I'm going to replace you, but they're going to do the same thing with the next guy. And I don't know of a guy that owns a business or a group that owns a business or a board that's looking at the business that doesn't understand that a business is only as good as the people that work there.
Okay.
Can you hear that?
I can hear that.
All right, cool.
Okay.
So it takes persistence, my friend.
Okay. I will be persistent. And
There you go.
Appreciate the thought.
It's two P's, persistence and patience.
Okay.
How about that?
All right.
All right, Mara, thanks for calling.
Thanks, friend. Talk to you later.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. All right, now, so we're talking about change and how to deal with change. So it's like you have to get that change happens. Birthdays happens. Weather happens. Kids grow up, all right? Have you ever endured a remodeling job in your house? I mean, you start off going, all right, I can't wait to get this done. We're going to have a new sink, a new bathroom, a deck, or whatever. And by the time you get it done, you go, I don't think I ever want to do this again.
End up in grout to your
Oh,
ankles.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, up in the ground. And then the color's not right, or the floor's done the wrong way, or gosh knows, whatever. Or there's a crack shows up in your tile bathroom suite, or your steamer doesn't work, or gosh, whatever. Human beings do what they do. But anytime you deal with change, you have to deal with the expectations and the surprises that go along with it. So you have to be calm and cool until you're not. And then when you're not, you have to say you're sorry and go be calm and cool anyway. Sorry. So now, we've endured changes in our bodies, things that used to work perfectly now kind of creak and kind of bend slowly and kind of, like I can tell you, me jumping out of bed at 20 is a lot different than me jumping out of bed at 63. Let me tell you, okay? I'm doing a lot of things at my age now to make sure that I can keep jumping out of bed that at 20 I never even thought of. So a lot of things have changed in what I accept in my life. Also, a lot of things have changed out of my experience and what I will accept doing in my life. There's a lot of things I just refuse not to participate in. I just refuse to stay mad very long. It's a waste of energy. I also refuse to keep looking for more money because more money can't hug you. And it's hugs is what you need, Yeah. Susan, you got a quote?
Yes, I do. Well, I have both. But
Susan's looking at me like, it's time for me. So, okay, let's go.
This is from Robert Gallagher. This is a quote.
Yeah.
It says, change is inevitable, except from a vending machine.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. I love that.
Vending machines never change, yeah.
I like this one.
And they don't care either.
No, they
go
don't.
ahead.
Charles Darwin. It is not the strongest of the species that survive, nor the most intelligent, but the one most responsive to change.
Yep. Way cool.
That's pretty cool.
All right. Change can be and is many times a very frightening thing, and it's very disturbing to most of us. I mean, even if it's a good thing, even if it's, oh, boy, we're going to move to a bigger house, then you're going, well, gosh, what's the neighborhood all about? And even if the neighborhood's fine, well, what's the school system all about? Well, how far it is to the interchange for the drive to work, or what happens if I don't like my neighbors? Or what happens if we move in and the neighbors said, new neighbors, let's cut down the trees. You know, we make up all kinds of stuff about change. Now, Beth, my assistant, and my executive in charge of everything in my life, except for my marriage, although I think she and Susan talk a lot. So she just,
I will never tell.
Yeah, she just had her birthday. And let me tell you, I called her up on her birthday morning. I said, happy birthday, Beth. And she goes, and I was just going, okay. So what's really going on? And turns out it wasn't her birthday. It was she's having problems with her kids, that her kids didn't wake up and go, happy birthday to you. The kids woke up and said, Mom, where's my shoes? I can't find my shoes, and it's your fault. No, happy birthday. And she got her feelings hurt so bad, she decided she was just going to eat worms the whole rest of the day.
Aww.
And then she had to have a meeting with her family and go, family, when it's my birthday, it's a smart thing. You got to remember this is a smart thing. Always tell me happy birthday before you ask for your shoes. You know, what do you think about that? So her life is going faster. Her kids' life is going faster. And guess what? One of the changes that we don't accept that doesn't work for us is lack of acknowledgement. You can never get to a place where not telling somebody thank you or not saying, wow, that was a great job or whatever is okay. That is not okay. Like when I waved at the older lady and the gentleman that were in the car, on the way down here, I just waved at them. And they looked at me like, wow, I wonder what he's waving at me for. I'm doing fine. That little buckaroo, isn't he cute?
Clay, I want to go ahead and bring up an email. Just speaking of family here in a Beth situation, Phyllis sent us an email here. It says, I'm the first of my friends to start a family, and now that I have one, I'm feeling very alienated from my group. I'm assuming she means friends and family. Don't get me wrong, I love being a mother, but I also feel sad like I've lost a piece of myself in the process. Any advice?
Okay, so read the last couple lines again.
She says, I love being a mother, but she also feels sad like she's lost a piece of herself. I think she's just feeling alienated from her group of friends and family, like they're passing judgment on her. It sounds like.
You know, it's really hard when you're raising kids and you're building a family and you're going through all the things that you don't lose yourself. I know with you, Susan, you know, in your geology studies and everything else, you have girlfriends that you love to go see, all right? Mm-hmm. And things that you love to do that has nothing to do with cooking a meal or going to a grocery store or, worrying about what the housekeeper's doing or God knows what. It's a Susan thing. Mm-hmm. And it only took me, we've been together 30 years, it took me 27 years to figure that out. And
he's a quick one.
Oh, I'm quick.
Quick study, yeah.
But, the truth is I've seen where, there's a lot of people that never figure it out, So it's all about understanding that everybody has to have an identity. And besides mom, besides wife, besides all those things, it's who am I? What do I want? And quite frankly, am I going to get what I want before I get too old to get it? Now, that's a real fear. That's dealing with change. How about this? How about you get old enough where you decide, I can't do it? Like, remember how you always wanted me to go build a log cabin in the woods for you? And we just went to the log cabin in the woods, and we saw how much work it would take. And you looked at me, and I looked at you and said, maybe we ought to buy one. Build one ourselves. Sorry, it ain't going to happen. So it's all about, it's about learning, hey, maybe I don't want to ride a bicycle that much. Maybe I just want to go for a walk. Maybe I want to get exercise in a safer, less energetic way, but still get exercise. Maybe I want to be smarter about how I live my life. Maybe I want to have a financial plan that I actually fund instead of talk about. Maybe I want to have a relationship with my kids where I can actually be with them instead of be at them, So there's all kinds of things that come about when you're dealing with change. And it's not just change in relationship, it's change in health, it's change in environment, it's change in what you're committed to, and change how you handle change. It's also dealing with how you resist change, called anger, resistance, muscle. Whew. Okay, now one thing isn't going to change. I have to take another break. I've been trying to change this for 57 shows. I've never made it yet.
I think that'll help Phyllis, though. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, so you're listening to the Clay Nelson Life Balance Hour, and the topic is dealing with change. So come on back. We're going to deal with some more when you get back here.